The title today, Religion versus Bloodline. We're doing this lesson today, again, because when we talk to people and try to encourage them and let them know that you're not African American, you're not black, you're an Israelite, you're from the tribe of Judah. No, you're not a Mexican. You're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar. No, you're not a Jamaican. You're from the tribe of Benjamin. No. You're not a Haitian. You're from the tribe of Levi. And so on and so on. Because what the world has done through religion, they believe, okay, now I got to convert it to Judaism. They think it's something that you become, not versus who you already are in your blood. And this is why we gave you those scriptures in Romans 9. Because Paul said, just because you're Abraham's seed, that don't mean you're part of the promise. This is a bloodline from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if you don't match up with those things in Deuteronomy 28 and all the other promises and curses that they was talking about in the Old Testament, you can't claim that you're God's people. Yet, if you are, it's not something you have to become. You don't have to come back and start calling yourself a black Israelite. There's no such thing as a black Israelite. It's just either you're an Israelite or you're not. Period. So, in this entire world, for almost the last 700-800 years, per se, how many people have been saying that they're Jews? So there was only been one person. This is why when you look in Hosea 6, the Most High says in verse 1 that he would raise us up in 2 days, and then on the third day we will come up. Christ, 2,000 years, fullness of the Gentiles, that what speaks in Luke the 21st chapter. After the fullness of the Gentiles come up, the Most High begins to wake his people up. Therefore, if Titus the first chapter, verse 14 tells us to not go into Jewish fables, that means that there were some Jewish people, Edomites at the time, trying to proclaim something that they were not. That's your opinion. That's what you're thinking, right? Let's go to Revelation 2, and let's give them verse 9.
I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich.
Okay, so Most High is telling the church here, I know the stuff that you're going through. I know because you chose to be with me. I know the things that are happening to you. I know the poverty that you're experiencing, trying to do what thus says the Lord. But I want you to know, you may be experiencing poverty in the natural, but in the spiritual, you're rich. Then he says something very, very, very interesting.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are the Jews, and are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And they are from who?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Wow. Didn't he say in John the 8th chapter that somebody's father was of the devil?
Yep.
Read that verse for him again.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Of synagogue of Satan. So who has proclaimed to the entire world that they are the people of God? It ain't been us. Because only us is just waking up in the last few years. And when we tell the world that we Israelites, the people laugh at us. The world laughs at us. Our family laughs at us. Because they were focused on people practicing a religion, and they didn't get into the things of the Old Testament to see if the people actually added up and matched the promises, that the covenants, and the glory that Paul tells us about in Romans the 9th chapter. So Christ is saying here, I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews. Notice, he didn't say, I know they say they are Christians. I know they say they are the members of the church. I know they say they are spiritual Jews. He didn't say any of that. He said, I know them who say they are Jews and are not. Now, you may say, okay, you got that one verse. Show me again what he says. And I will. Let's go to Revelation 3. And in Revelation 3, we're going to look at verses 9 through 13. Verse 9.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Oh, here we go. Of who? The synagogue of
who? Of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not.
And are not. And do what?
but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
See, what the Most High is telling us right now, yeah, the Jewish people over there got the whole world convinced that they are his people. But when we get in the kingdom, when Christ comes back and show you who really is Christ, and it ain't this guy right here, let me go get this picture so I can show it to you. When Christ comes back and you realize, oh, that blind-eyed, blue-head Jesus that they got on all these paintings and they got on all these walls, and when you see that person who's not Jesus, and you see this guy, and it ain't this guy right here, when you see that guy's not the guy, according to Revelations 1, verse 13 and 14, when you know this ain't the guy, he's going to say he's going to do what?
I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved them.
That's right. All these folks who deceived the world to believe that they were Israel and told us that we wasn't, told us that we were black. Why do you think that for 400 years they tried to make us as slaves believe that we were just a color? No other nation in the world but Israel has had their name changed. Those guys in Mexico wasn't calling themselves Mexicans before the Spanish people got there. Our brothers, our Gadite brothers, the tribe of Gad, was not calling themselves Indians. They've never been to India. Why were we calling them Indians? Why was it important for Christopher Columbus to convince the world that they was Indians when we know that they're not where they're from? And to this day, in 2017, we still calling our brothers Indians. Nobody's name but Israel has been changed. And for us, we were black, just a color. You got light-skinned folk, brown-skinned people, black. And then now we're gonna do you a favor now. We're gonna call you African Americans. And we bought it. We all did. But it was a lie. This is why they pump this in our heads over and over and over. So that we can believe it. So we can live it. But it was a lie. So read verse 9 for them again.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Verse 10.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, and I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
So the Most High is telling us right now, there's about to come a time where the world is about to get even. We're seeing it every day. And the Most High is saying, look, I know you're going to be out there, and what you do is, if you come back to me and start keeping my law, statutes, and commandments, and you go away from these pagan things, you leave this Christmas alone, you leave this Easter alone, you leave this Thanksgiving alone, you leave this Halloween alone, and all these other pagan stuff that the church has taught us. If you leave those things alone, he said he's going to do what?
I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Verse 11.
Behold, I will come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man that take thy crown.
Don't let nobody take your crown from you. He said, hold fast in this thing. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be difficult. I know it's going to be hard to be ostracized from your family. I know it's going to be hard to let people laugh at you. I know it's going to be hard because people are going to say, what are you talking about? But he said, hold fast. Because I'm coming quickly. And I'm telling you right now, you don't want to be caught on the other side. You don't want to be caught with a Christmas tree up in your house when Christ come back. You don't want to be caught doing no Easter egg hunts when Christ come back. Because the world done told you this stuff is, it's just innocent fun. But the Most High, listen, ain't for it. You better get away from that stuff. This is what grace is about. We had misunderstood what grace was because we thought grace was just a reason now they don't have to do anything. But grace was because he told us in Deuteronomy 28 chapter that you was going to go in the land from people that your fathers never, you go in the land you have not known to serve gods your father don't even know. He knew that we was going to be here doing these things. He knew we was going to fall victim to these things. And so he released grace. So instead of us having to fall to the penalties of the cross, according to Galatians 2, Galatians the 2nd chapter, He nailed the ordinances that was against us, the penalty of death against us, and took that to hell. Now grace gives us an opportunity. When we find out the truth, we can repent from it and come away from it. Not to continue to do it and say, well, God loved everybody. You see what he said in Romans 1:13. For God loved Jacob but hated Esau. So this whole God loves everybody thing, don't believe the hype. Verse 12.
Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name.
My new name. But it's only going to be for those who hold fast to what he has said. See, I know what the world has taught us. I know what the church has taught us. I know what Christianity has taught us. But you better get in this Bible and see the truth of it. And stop letting preachers pull one verse here out of it, and verse one here out of it, one verse there out of it. No, you need to get precept upon precept. And if you have an understanding of one that contradicts another, you're wrong. We couldn't help but do these things because that's what was told to us. But now that the truth is coming, you better not reject it. Or you're going to go down with the Gentile nations that did the things to us that they did. Verse 13.
He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Let's go to Acts 11 chapter.